Hello, fellow adventurers. Bear Grylls here. Today we're not just exploring the wild, we're navigating the razor's edge of human civilization. In this special report, we're counting down the 10 most dangerous places a traveler might consider in 2025. This isn't about fear, it's about equipping you with the intelligence you need to make smart decisions. Before you even think about booking a flight, always check the latest official travel advisories from your government. Now let's gear up and head into the thick of it. Our countdown begins in Syria, a country whose name has become synonymous with hardship and resilience. This is a nation deeply scarred by over a decade of relentless conflict. The infrastructure is shattered, with entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble, and once bustling cities now eerily silent. The risk of being in the wrong place at the wrong time is extraordinarily high, as danger can lurk around any corner. Active combat zones, sudden shelling and airstrikes can erupt without warning, leaving little time to react or seek shelter. Numerous armed groups operate throughout the country, making the threat of kidnapping or detention a constant, chilling reality for anyone traveling here. Consular support is virtually non-existent. If you get into trouble, you're on your own, with little hope of outside assistance or rescue. Basic services, electricity, water, and medical care are often unavailable or unreliable, making daily survival a challenge even for locals. The psychological toll is immense. Living in a constant state of high alert can break even the most seasoned traveler, as fear and uncertainty become daily companions. Ancient sites like Palmyra may call to the adventurer's spirit, whispering stories of a glorious past, but the current reality is a stark warning to all. The risk here far outweighs any potential reward, with danger present at every turn and safety never guaranteed. For now, Syria remains a frontier best left uncrossed, a land of scars, where hope endures but peril overshadows every step. Next, Afghanistan, a land of breathtaking mountains and deep instability. Following recent upheavals, the security situation is volatile and unpredictable. Terrorism and crime are rampant. Extremist groups can strike anywhere, anytime. Foreigners are high-value targets for kidnapping and ransom. Law and order are fragile, and help from authorities is unlikely. Travel outside Kabul is exceptionally dangerous. Roads and even air travel are risky. Infrastructure is crumbling and borders can close without warning. The resilience of the Afghan people is remarkable, but for travelers, the risk is too great. The mountains may call, but the reality is a clear signal: stay away. Afghanistan is a challenge best left unmet. Survival here is a gamble against impossible odds. We now head to Somalia, a land whose name has become synonymous with anarchy, civil war, and piracy. This is a country where the scars of decades-long conflict are visible everywhere, from the shattered buildings of Mogadishu to the battered ships rusting in its harbors. The central government's authority is weak, often challenged by powerful warlords and extremist groups. Al-Shabaab, the most notorious of these, carries out frequent, deadly attacks, keeping the population in a constant state of fear and uncertainty. For foreigners, the risks are even greater. They are immediate targets for terrorism, kidnapping, and extortion, making any visit here a perilous undertaking. Off the coast, piracy remains a persistent threat. Private vessels and commercial ships alike must navigate these waters with extreme caution, as pirate attacks can happen without warning. On land, clan militias and criminal gangs operate with impunity. They see foreigners as valuable commodities, often abducting them for ransom in a lawless environment where violence is a daily reality. Infrastructure is devastated. Hospitals and clinics are often in ruins, and medical emergencies can quickly turn fatal due to the lack of reliable care and supplies. Communication is unreliable at best, with frequent outages and limited access. In many areas you are truly cut off from the outside world, unable to call for help if disaster strikes. Mogadishu, the capital, is a city on a knife's edge. Armed guards and careful planning are not just recommended, they are essential for survival. Spontaneous travel is out of the question. Every journey, even a short one, is a calculated risk that requires armed escorts and meticulous route planning. Somalia is a vortex of dangers, political, criminal, and environmental, that can swallow you whole in an instant. Here, the normal rules of survival simply do not apply. Every step outside is a gamble, and even the most experienced travelers are constantly on edge. For travelers, Somalia is a place to avoid at all costs, a land where danger lurks around every corner and safety is never guaranteed. Our journey now takes us to Yemen, a nation gripped by one of the world's most devastating humanitarian crises. Once known for its rich culture and breathtaking landscapes, Yemen is now synonymous with suffering and hardship on an unimaginable scale. The ongoing civil war has created a high lethality environment. Active front lines, relentless airstrikes, and ground combat are daily realities for millions. Civilians are caught in the crossfire, with violence erupting in both cities and rural areas. Infrastructure is decimated, hospitals, schools, and water plants have been reduced to rubble. Essential services have collapsed, leaving communities without access to medical care, education, or clean water. Famine and disease are rampant, and resources are nearly non-existent. Malnutrition affects countless children, while outbreaks of cholera and other preventable diseases claim lives every day. Extremist groups flourish in the chaos, and the threat of kidnapping and execution is severe. Lawlessness and insecurity have become the norm, making daily life perilous for everyone. Landmines and unexploded ordnance litter the landscape, making travel deadly and isolating entire communities from aid and support. There is no functioning tourism industry or consular support. Embassies are closed, and travel agencies have long since shut their doors. The ancient city of Sana'a and the unique island of Socotra are now inaccessible, locked behind violence, checkpoints, and unimaginable suffering. Yemen is not a destination, it's a tragedy unfolding before the world's eyes, a place where families are torn apart and hope is in short supply. Entering Yemen is a risk no traveler should take. For now, the only responsible way to witness Yemen is from afar, with compassion and a hope for peace. We now travel to South Sudan, the world's youngest nation forged in conflict. A fragile peace exists, but violence and instability remain. Violent crime, carjackings, armed robberies, and home invasions are rampant, especially in Juba. Foreigners are targeted, and intercommunal violence can erupt without warning. Roadblocks and local conflicts make travel hazardous. Years of war have led to food shortages and limited access to healthcare. Infrastructure is minimal, and travel is difficult even in the best of times. The risk of a return to large-scale conflict is ever present. For travelers, South Sudan is a place of profound risk and daily survival challenges. It's a nation with potential, but for now, it's best avoided. Our countdown now takes us to Libya, a nation fractured by rival governments and militias. Instability and violence are pervasive. Clashes can erupt without warning in cities like Tripoli and Benghazi. The rule of law is absent. Power lies with whoever controls the guns. Kidnapping risk is exceptionally high, and consular assistance is impossible. Infrastructure is collapsing. Basic services are unreliable. Human trafficking and smuggling add another layer of danger. Ancient Roman ruins are now in areas too dangerous to access. Libya is a battleground where safety cannot be guaranteed for a moment. For travelers, it's a no-go zone. We now cross to Venezuela, a nation in crisis, not from war but from economic and political collapse. Violent crime is rampant. Venezuela has one of the world's highest homicide rates. Armed robberies, carjackings, and express kidnappings are common, especially in Caracas. Police are often corrupt and ineffective. Severe shortages of food, water, medicine, and gasoline are daily realities. Hospitals barely function, and a medical emergency is dire. Protests and civil unrest can turn violent without warning. Criminal gangs control roads, and infrastructure is crumbling. Venezuela is a stark example of how state failure creates a survival situation as dangerous as any war zone. For travelers, it's a destination to avoid. Number 3, Central African Republic, a nation ravaged by conflict since 2012. The government controls only a small portion of the country. The rest is lawless, ruled by armed factions. Human rights abuses are widespread, and violence is a daily occurrence. Even in the capital, Bangui, crime and instability are high. Movement is restricted, and travel requires extensive security measures. Humanitarian needs are immense. Infrastructure is shattered. Roads are few and dangerous, especially during the rainy season. The UN struggles to maintain order, but for individuals, protection is non-existent. Entering car is like walking into a hurricane. Survival odds are slim. It's a forgotten war, but its dangers are immediate and deadly. Number 2, Mali, at the heart of the Sahel's instability. Jihadist groups, ethnic militias, and criminal networks have plunged the north and center into chaos. Extremist groups control large areas and carry out sophisticated attacks. Kidnapping risk for foreigners is exceptionally high. Violence has spread to central Mali, and even Bamako is not immune. Political instability and military coups add to the unpredictability. Government authority is weak, state protection is unreliable, overland travel is extremely dangerous, and historic sites are now conflict zones. Mali's rich culture is held hostage by conflict. For travelers, it's simply too dangerous to visit. Number 1. Haiti, a nation facing a perfect storm of crises. Armed gangs control much of Port-au-Prince, including key infrastructure. Kidnapping for ransom is rampant, foreigners are prime targets. The political vacuum is total, no functioning government, no security. Law enforcement is outgunned and demoralized. Severe shortages of food, water, and fuel are compounded by a cholera outbreak. Hospitals are closed or overwhelmed, medical care is nearly impossible to access. Natural disasters, hurricanes and earthquakes add to the risk. Haiti's lack of infrastructure means it cannot respond to new disasters. This combination of gang rule, collapse, and disaster risk makes Haiti uniquely dangerous. For travelers, it is an absolute no-go zone. The journey home, a final word on safety. Our goal wasn't to paint a grim picture but to underscore that knowledge is survival. True courage is knowing which frontiers are best left uncrossed. Your safety should always be your top priority. The world is full of wonders, but exploration must be done wisely. Always check official travel advisories, be prepared, and stay sharp. If this information helps even one person make a safer choice, we've succeeded. Until our next adventure, stay safe out there and look after each other.